Hello kids, this is Miss Supriti, your English teacher. In this video, we are going to learn a new chapter, that is A Day in the Country by Anton Chekhov. Anton Chekhov was a Russian playwright and a short story writer who is considered to be among the greatest writers of short fiction in history. His career as a playwright produced 4 classics, and his best short stories are held in high esteem by writers and critics. So you can see on your screen there are some of the works of Anton Chekhov and some of the quotes written by him. Now in this story we have 3 main characters, Terenti, Yokla and Danilka. Terenti is the cobbler. Yokla is a little girl and sister of Danilka. Danilka is a brother of Yokla who falls in problem in the story. The story is about Danilka and Yokla, who are siblings, both orphans and beggars, were trying to get a cuckoo's egg from a tree when Danilka's hand got stuck and he was unable to take it out. When did it happen? It happened on a very fine day while they were wandering around the forest. There was also a storm coming that day. Where did it happen? The story happened in a forest near their hometown, in a tree where Danilka got his hand stuck. What did Yokla do to help Danilka? Panicked, Yokla ran towards Terenti's house, who is an old cobbler who is known to be somewhat creepy or scary in their village. Why did Yokla seek help from Terenti? Probably because it was Terenti who came into Yokla's mind first. Just like them, Terenti lives alone and is somewhat away from the rest of the people in the village. Now precisely the story, A Day in the Country, is a beautifully written story by Anton Chekhov about 2 orphans who learn and see more of their surroundings, appreciating nature and seeing good in the events that had happened in their life. It is actually a good reflection for the readers too. So children, now let us begin with the story. Now the story is from your unit 2, Nurturing Nature. Now when we speak about nurturing nature, it is obvious that the story talks about nature. And in that, Yokla and Danilka had a problem and how they solved the problem coming along with the nature. Now let us see what the starter is all about. John Lubbock, a British statesman, said, "Earth and sky, woods and fields, lakes and rivers, the mountain and the sea are excellent schoolmasters and teach some of us more than we can ever learn from books. Certainly, nature is not only replete with beauty but is also a great teacher." Now list 5 lessons that you have learned from nature. Children, you can list 5 of your experiences or incidents where you have learned a lesson from the nature. Now let us start with the story, A Day in the Country. Country here means a village. Okay. Now as I have already told you, it's about 2 children, that is Yokla and Danilka, and Terenti, who is a cobbler, and how he teaches them valuable lessons about nature. Between 8 and 9 o'clock in the morning, a dark, leaden-colored mass is creeping over the sky towards the sun. Red zigzags of lightning gleam here and there across it. There is a sound of far-away rumbling. A warm wind frolics over the grass, bends the trees, and stirs up the dust. In a minute, there will be a spurt of May rain and a real storm will begin. This is the approaching of a thunderstorm in their village, and as I have already told you, it was a day where this thunderstorm was approaching, okay, and the leaden color, the dark color, the black colored mass or cloud has completely covered the sky and it was moving towards the sun. There is this zigzags, red colored lightning gleaming here and there, and there was sound of thunder rumbling at a distance or far away. Okay, a warm wind frolics. Frolics means which plays or which moves very playfully over the grass. The wind was playing or moving over the grass, thus bending the trees and stirring up the dust. And in a minute there will be a spurt of May rain. Spurt means a fountain or pouring of heavy rain, and a real storm will begin. In this amidst of a thunderstorm, Yokla, a little girl of 6, is running through the village looking for Terenti, the cobbler. The white-haired, barefoot child is pale. Her eyes are wide open and her lips are trembling. As I had already told you, perhaps they are beggars or they are orphans. Here in the description about the girl, you can find that she was barefoot child and is pale, proves that they are not from a well-to-do condition. And she comes running into the village and she was searching for Terenti, the cobbler, and her eyes are wide open as if she was tensed or she was worried about something, and her lips are trembling. She was shivering out of fear. Uncle, where is Terenti? She asks everyone she meets. No one answers. They are all preoccupied. With what? With the approaching storm, and take refuge in their huts. At last, she meets Silenti Silic, the sacristan, Terenti's friend. He is coming along, staggering from the wind. So she asks everybody in the village about Terenti, but no one informs her, as if everybody was busy or preoccupied in order to take a refuge in their huts from the approaching storm. And amidst that, there was one of Terenti's friends, Silenti Silic. He was a sacristan. Sacristan means a person who is in charge of a sacristy, a room in a church where articles of worships are kept and its contents are kept. So he is one of Terenti's friend, and he was also staggering from the wind. Staggering means moving or walking unsteadily from the wind. Uncle, where is Terenti? At the kitchen gardens, answers Silenti. The girl runs behind the huts to the kitchen gardens and there finds Terenti, the tall old man with a thin pock-marked face, very long legs and bare feet, dressed in a woman's tattered jacket, standing near the vegetable plots, looking with drowsy eyes at the dark storm cloud. On his long crane-like legs, he sways in the wind like a starling coat. So finally she finds Terenti, who was in the kitchen gardens. Now there is description about Terenti. He was a tall old man with a thin pock-marked face. Pock means scars or spots everywhere on his face. Very long legs. He is also bare feet. He dressed in a woman's tattered jacket, torn jacket, not in a very good condition. Standing near the vegetable plots, looking with drowsy eyes, with tired eyes at the dark storm cloud. On his long crane-like legs, he sways, he moves, or he swings in the wind like a starling coat. Starling coat is a songbird with a straight beak. You can see in the picture the description of Terenti, how tall he is. He is obviously old. His legs are thin, yet crane-like long legs. He was wearing a tattered jacket, okay, which is not in a very good condition. And he was trying to listen to this little girl, Yokla. Uncle Terenti, the white-headed girl addresses him. Uncle darling. Terenti bends down to Yokla and his grim face is overspread with a smile such as come into people's faces when they look at something little, foolish and absurd, but warmly loved. You can see in the picture how he has bent down and he's trying to listen to the young girl. Okay, although this young girl is very little, maybe whatever she is going to speak, maybe it can be foolish or it can be absurd or illogical, but there is a warmly love between these two. Ah, Yokla, he says tenderly, where have you come from? Uncle Terenti, says Yokla with a sob, tugging at the lapel of cobbler's coat. Brother Danilka has had accident. Come along. So see how she is pulling the lapel of the cobbler's coat, and she informed that Brother Danilka has had an accident. Come along, come with me to help him out. What sort of accident? Oh, what thunder! Holy, 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 what sort of accident? In the Count's copse, Danilka stuck his hand into a hole in a tree, and he can't get it out. Come along, uncle, do be kind and pull his hand out. So she informed that Danilka had stuck his hand into a hole in a tree and he can't get it out. So come along with me, uncle, so that we can pull his hand out. How was it he put his hand in, and what for? He wanted to get a cuckoo's egg out of the hole for me. The day has hardly begun and already you are in trouble. Terenti shook his head. Well, what am I to do with you now? I must come. I must come, little child. So he said that already you are in trouble. The day had hardly begun. You are already in trouble. But what am I to do with you now? I must go with you. I must help you, little child. So both of them went towards the forest to help Danilka. Terenti comes out of the kitchen garden and, lifting high his long legs, begins striding down the village street. He walks quickly without stopping. Yokla can hardly keep up with him. So Terenti walks very fast towards the forest. Striding means walks or moves very fast, but this little girl Yokla could not keep up with the pace of Terenti. They come out of the village and turn along the dusty road towards the Count's copse that lies dark blue in the distance. It is about a mile and a half away. The clouds have now covered the sun, and soon afterwards there is not a speck of blue left in the sky. It grows dark. There is the approach of the thunderstorm, and it's approaching very fast. Now soon the clouds will cover the whole sky, and it will also cover the sun, and there will be not a spot, not a tiny spot of blue cloud left in the sky, and it will be completely dark. The first raindrops, big and heavy like dark dots on the dusty road. A big drop falls on Yokla's cheek and glides like a tear down her chin. So there was the first big and heavy raindrop that falls on the dusty road, which was perhaps very dry. The first dot of the drop of the rain looks very dark, and also it falls on the Yokla's cheek and it glides down, it moves down as if a tear is rolling down her chin. The rain has finally begun, mutters the cobbler, kicking up the dust with his bare, bony feet. That's fine, Yokla, old girl. The grass and the trees are fed by the rain, as we are by bread. And as for the thunder, don't you be frightened. Why should it harm a little thing like you? So he tries to console Yokla, who was very scared or frightened by the approaching thunderstorm. So he tries to console by saying that it's just a rain. It is food for the grass and the trees. As we are fed by bread, they are also fed by rain. So, and the thunder will not harm you, little thing or little child. So don't you be frightened or afraid of the thunder or of the rain. As soon as the rain begins, the wind drops. The only sound is the patter of rain dropping like fine shots on the young rye and the parched road. The patter of rain, the tapping of rain dropping, the only sound was left was the patter of rain dropping, and like a fine shots on the young rye. Rye means a cereal plant, and a parched road. Parched road means very dry road. So when the rain began, the wind drops. The wind stopped blowing, and they could only find out the sound of the rain dropping like a fine shots on the young cereal plant or the crops and on the dry road. We shall get soaked, Yokla, mutters Terenti. There won't be a dry spot left on us. Oh, oh, my girl, it's run down my neck. But don't be frightened, silly. The grass will be dry again, the earth will be dry again, and we shall be dry again. There is the same sun for us all. So see how it is repeated. The grass will be dry again, the earth will be dry again, and we shall be dry again. It's poetical. Okay, the language the writer writes in this short story is not like a prose. It is completely poetical. It is repetition. Okay, to emphasize that the rain won't be there for long. The rain won't be there for every single day. Obviously, after some time or the next day, the grass will be dry again. The sun will come out again, the earth will be dry again, and also we shall be dry again. And there is the same sun for us all. The sun is obviously there for us. So obviously after this heavy rainfall, everything will be dry. A flash of lightning, some 14 feet long, gleams above their head. There is a loud peal of thunder, and it seems, Yokla, that something big, heavy and round is rolling over the sky and tearing it open exactly over her head. Don't be afraid, little girl. It is not from spite that it thunders, Terenti says. So obviously this is the symbols of thunder. Okay, there is a flash of lightning which is 14 feet long, very long lightning which is gleaming or shining or brightening over their head, and there is a loud sound. Peal means sound of thunder. So imagine, children, how it happens when there is a thunderstorm, lightning, thunderstorm, rain, heavy rain, and there is the sound of thunder. Obviously a girl of 6 years old will definitely get scared off, and she feels that something big, something heavy and something round which is rolling over the sky, and it is tearing it open exactly over her head. But Terenti consoles her by saying that don't be afraid, little girl. It is not from spite that it thunders. It is not unkindness. Okay, it is not unkindness of the rain that it thunders. It is the natural need of the nature. So that is why it is thundering. Don't be afraid, little girl. It is not from spite that it thunders, Terenti says. Terenti's and Yokla's feet are covered with lumps of heavy, wet clay. It is slippery and difficult to walk, but Terenti strides on more and more rapidly. The weak little girl is breathless and ready to drop. You can see in the picture, their feet are totally covered with mud. Now imagine walking in such a thunderous environment, that too on slippery mud. It is very, very difficult. Although Terenti is able to walk, is able to stride more and more rapidly, the little girl was breathless and ready to drop. Means she was completely exhausted. She was not able to cope up with the pace of Terenti. I hope you have understood till page 40. In my next video, I'll continue the remaining part of the story.